Hello, everybody. This is Keith from CryptoCoinMindSet. I hope you're doing well today. And as always, I'm here to help you get your mindset on crypto. And today is going to be a great live stream. Great live stream. I am fortunate to have a co-host today. In fact, let me get this off the screen and let's get him up here. He actually joined us last week in the live stream. So Lidio from CryptoJar is here. So great. Excited to have him. Let me give you a quick breakdown about what the live stream is going to look like today. And then we'll let him introduce himself and tell you all about himself. The plans for today, as we put out in all this information, is going to be talking about the latest banking collapse. And I just, before I even go through the rest of it, I just want to say it's amazing to me how little coverage there is about this, how little coverage. But anyway, the latest banking collapse. We're going to talk about the latest updates with WorldCoin. We're going to let the node information come from CryptoJar. He's got some great information he's going to leave with us today. And then finally, at the end, I got an announcement that we'll make about a new live stream coming. So, but for now, it's all you, brother. Take it.
All right. Thanks for having me on. Been watching your content for a bit now, and it's very interesting. Lots of new up-to-date information. So I have my own channel. It's called CryptoJar, and I talk a lot about people who, well, my audience is more about users who are just getting used to or introduced into crypto, similar to yours. A lot of the projects I cover are passive income projects, whether it's nodes or investing in NFTs, although I don't do too much of that NFT stuff, and mining. So there's a few different things that I touch on and I explore it. And anything that I'm going to be talking about, I usually dive into myself. So the use case scenario is going to be me. And yeah, I try it out, see what happens. If I make money, great. If I don't make money, well, at least you didn't lose anything. You
yeah, right.
You actually lose if I'm losing. So that's not so bad.
Hey, nothing wrong with passive income in the space. When I first started my channel, I think you and I talked about this at some point. That was literally what I did. I mean, talked about different passive income opportunities or ways to make passive income, like mining and smart contracts and staking and so on and so forth. So, but you are a lot. I'm just gonna say, from all the information I've watched of yours and even your latest video. Matter of fact, make sure you visit his channel if you're not tuning in from his channel, because we are live streaming to both of our channels today. And check out his latest video and make sure you stay to the end. It gave me a chuckle. We'll talk about that later, maybe. But all right. Anything else you want to throw out there? Jump. It's all you.
No, not like we'll get into it. I'll talk a little bit about the projects that I'm in right now. There's a few that are they're taking off. It looks positive, but as we all know, these things don't last forever. At some point, something's going to get dumped on. But we'll hope that I can break even on at least a few of these projects.
That's the goal, at least, right? Money. Extra money.
Well, the goal for me is actually to make something, but that doesn't.
Well, yeah, and that's why I'm like, if you can make it, that's a bonus, I suppose. You know.
Yeah.
But all right, I got sorry, I'm trying to get things done on the side here while you're chatting. So appreciate you kind of covering me right there.
Yeah.
All right, so why don't we kick this thing off and then we'll fill in the gaps as we go. So,
sure.
Latest banking collapse. It's a regional bank. I think it only had 3 or 4 branches out of Kansas. Let me bring that screen up here and we'll bring one of them up to share it. Of course, it's not. Here it is. Okay, here we go. The name of the bank is Heartland Tri-State Bank. Again, I think they only have 3 or 4 locations. They're located in Kansas. The FDIC shut them down, I guess, like the end of last week. And they were to reopen after being absorbed, basically, by a bigger regional bank, Dream First. And I'll show you a little bit about that in another link right now. I mean, to me, one of the biggest, this whole banking collapse thing that's happening in slow motion, which is basically what's going on. It's the entire banking system not just in the United States, but around the world. And let's be honest, this whole system is interconnected, right? So one goes, they're all going to go. And we've seen some of that and the ripples happening with regard to that from the Bank of Japan, with some other information from them this week, and what they're doing with regard to buying back at higher interest rates and so on and so forth. But again, that's not why we're here. This is today we're going to start out with this banking collapse. But the bottom line is, it amazes me, one, that it's happening in such slow motion, the way that they're holding the dam or putting their fingers in the ever increasing number of holes in the dam, and the fact that this in particular, now it says it right here, fifth bank in the U.S. to fail in 2023.
Yeah, I didn't know there was that many, and they're definitely plugging the holes right now, floating the banks. So
I can't believe that. Like I said initially in the intro, was like, I can't believe it didn't get more coverage. Why is this not like more information? Why is there not more information about this? And listen, I've written off mainstream media a long time ago. For those who've been hanging on my channel, I not for nothing, you know that already. I kind of, and if you're tuning in from CryptoJar's channel, thank you, by the way. And
yeah, thanks.
Yeah, you'll find I'm pretty much a straight shooter, and I don't. You got to help yourself, kind of thing. That's my main philosophy, and I think crypto is the way to do that, to help yourself and your family. But let me get to while we're doing this, let me get to the next tab I have here about if you've got something you want to jump in with, by all means. I'm going to pull up the next screen about the banking collapse.
Yeah, like the banking industry, I don't know too much about it, but Silicon Valley Bank, I know everyone heard about that. So 5 now, and we're a little bit halfway through the year.
Right.
They say we're not in a recession. I'm not sure if that's true. I don't actually believe that. I think we've been in a recession since last year, but they keep changing the specs of what a of what a recession actually is. So yeah.
And you just hit the nail on the head right there. You change. It's like they changed the goalposts, with the
they
whole
just keep moving it down. So
and it's like, okay, by any traditional metric or definition of a recession, hello, we've been in it for a while now.
Right.
But yeah, you know what? So one of the things that I've noticed, and I mean it's pretty obvious to me, is that they're absorbing these banks. So like all those first 3 banks back in the beginning, March, whatever it was, when we first got a taste of it in the US, was they got absorbed eventually by was it JP Morgan Chase? I can't remember.
I'm not sure, but it's definitely one of the big 3 that took over. Yeah.
Well, and I mean, that consolidation, it's like everything else. The government, it's easier for the government to control one entity than it is to control all of these banks.
Right.
I mean, I see that as part of their MO, for lack of a better word, of the way they're planning to deal with this banking crisis, because they've already planned. Matter of fact, I should have brought that together, and I'll try and find the video about that, where they've literally planned this whole banking crisis out and how they're going to respond to it. Once I find that, I'll put a link in the show notes once it's posted. But
okay,
that seems to me to be what they want to do. They want to be able to control and maneuver just a small amount of banks, because I mean, it's easier to control 5 people than it is 100 people.
Right.
What's your thoughts about that?
Yeah, like again, I don't know too much about the situation in the US. I know what they're doing I'm in Canada, so I know what's happening in Canada. And I think our policy is a little bit more robust, and it's not really the Wild West like it seems like in the US, where if you hit a threshold and you're claiming bankruptcy, another company can step in right away and just gobble you up for pennies on the dollar. I mean, I'm not saying that it's not possible in Canada. I just think that the metrics to get that done is a little bit more difficult. The government seems to step in earlier to make sure that they stay within the constraints. So it's harder for banks to fail here. On paper, it's harder for banks to fail here.
Yeah. On paper, right.
Yeah.
That's interesting, and I appreciate that. Thank you for like bringing that forward, because again, I know I take things a lot very often from a U.S. centric kind of point of view, but and you know, the U.S. definitely exports its influence with regard to the traditional banking system, as you know, I think you and I talked about even in the last live stream with like the SWIFT system and so on and so forth, where they, you know, they weaponize the money system. So thank you for bringing in the Canadian perspective, because honestly, I wasn't even aware of that. Do they have now? Do you have like a regulator in Canada that deals with this?
There's a regulator as well. Actually, the regulator is causing havoc with crypto exchanges. I don't know if you know this, but a lot of them have already exited the Canadian market. Like Binance is gone. There's actually a few. Off the top of my head, I can't think of them, but at least 4 of the top 5 have already left. There's a few Canadian exchanges, like I use NDAX and ShakePay. They've been insured and they've gone through the whole approval process, but they've made it very difficult for exchanges to operate in Canada. So I don't know, everything's still pretty new, right? So going through that process, and as they refine it, and I don't know if they're going to make it more difficult or more easier for other companies to come into Canada and become an exchange, but yeah, our policy is a little bit more different. Like when we're talking about policies on money coming into Canada, that also has a huge impact on our real estate market. Here in the Toronto area, housing prices have skyrocketed and have gone up over the last 20 years. They've come down slightly. Like it hasn't really, like after the pandemic, it came down a little bit when they increased the interest rates, but they're still pretty high. Like the average home in the GTA that's over 4 bedrooms is going to be at least $1 million. And like, who has $1 million? Not everyone has $1 million.
Yeah. Everybody's sitting on $1 million, right?
Yeah. Like everyone's a millionaire all of a sudden. So
I
don't even know how these houses are selling. We have a lot of foreigners that are coming in that are buying houses. I have no idea how much money is actually coming in. It just seems a little bit insane. Yeah. It doesn't seem plausible. But.
What are you guys running on interest rates up there right now?
I got an email. So I did open variable on my mortgage, and I got an email that we're at just over 7% right now on open variable. And I think if you locked it in, I think you'd be going in the 6.5 range right now, maybe a little bit below that.
Wow. So, I mean, even at that, I mean, we're people who are buying homes, a year and a half ago, we're getting 3%?
Yes. Yeah.
Or less.
3%. Locking it in. If they locked it in, they're sitting pretty for at least 3 years.
Yeah, my daughter actually bought a home. Well, it's a couple of years ago now, I guess. But yeah, that was like the first piece of advice I gave. Lock it in. Lock in your interest rate, because
this ain't lasting forever, right?
Yeah, exactly. And my goodness. And when it comes collapsing down, you know, I mean, are you familiar with Mark Moss?
No.
I'm gonna have a link to his channel in the show notes below. He is like, it's amazing the way this guy can explain economics, what happens across the world, etc. He's great. I encourage everyone to follow his channel. Again, it'll be in the description below, a link to his channel. And he talks about how the pending, or he had talked in one of his videos about the pending collapse of the housing, help me, real estate. That's the word I was looking for. Real estate bubble. And he talked about how, you know, everybody, like when you listen to these talking heads on, CNBC or whatever it is, they're always talking in the generality of, things are strong, things are this, things are that. But in actuality, these real estate markets are just that. They're markets. They're individual to states, or in your case, individual to provinces, right? Is that how, is that? You break down there, that they're completely individual in that regard. They're not, what happens, in the, New England, for example, in the United States, is certainly not happening in California. I mean, I would not want to live in California. Side note, anyway. So again, link to his channel, it will be in the description below. But I don't see how anybody And you're right. I say that all the time when I see, I'm driving along and I see signs, for sale signs on houses. I just think to myself, how can anyone these days even remotely afford it? I just don't understand.
It's crazy, especially if you're in your 20s and you're just joining the job force and you're earning your income. You're paying off probably your student debt, and now you're trying to find your way to build a home. So if you haven't already saved, which you probably haven't, if you're trying to pay off your student debt, it's an upward battle. Like for me, I know that I got into the housing market in my late 20s, early 30s, and I think I just caught it before it went crazy. Because if I were to enter in right now in that same position, it'd be literally impossible.
Yep.
At least the houses were $500,000-$600,000, which is about half of what it is right now.
Yep.
But yeah, and the interest rates were still not crazy either. So right now it's a double whammy. The houses are incredibly expensive, and then you have these insane interest rates. So renting seems to, if you even rent in the GTA, the Toronto area, like
Through
even
the
rent
roof.
is insane. So like just the affordability of making it past the next day is just like, it's crazy. Right. So.
It sadly, I mean, you can say what you're thinking, but the way I look at it, it's only going to get worse.
Yeah.
Only going to get so much worse.
Yeah. At least for the next year, I don't see anything settling down for a bit.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. Yeah. I want to just take a minute because I can see that there's some people coming into the live stream right now, and I appreciate that. If you're new to either of our channels, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and if you're watching on Facebook, because I'm also streaming on my Facebook page, make sure you follow the Facebook page. Let us know where you're from. Jump into the live chat if you've got a question. We'll get to that either during the course or at the end of the live stream. And let us know where you're viewing from and who you are. Appreciate it. And all right, so let's jump back real quick. I put up where did I put it? Oh, nope. I'll find it. Give me a second. There it is. This tweet about excuse me, the Swiss National Bank posting $15 billion losses during the second quarter, which ended the end of June, right? So how the hell can you run a bank and be running that amount of losses? Like, if any business, and it's same thing with the government, right? They just keep spending because they give themselves a blank check. But I mean, any normal household or business would be like belly up, living on the street with losses like that. It's crazy.
It's pretty easy, I think, when you're just printing out your own funds, right? So,
yeah, right.
$15 billion. If you just change that B to a T, I don't know if that would make much of a difference. So.
Yeah, not these days.
Yeah,
not these days, right? I mean, when they do stimulus and this and that, they're talking trillions. It's not millions, it's not billions, it's trillions these days.
Yeah.
But I mean,
if you scroll down to that tweet, you can see the inverse Kramer, the inverse Kramer quote. It's hilarious because I believe Kramer was pumping this bank just before the earnings call, and
yeah, I think you're correct. Yeah, exactly, and you're right.
And of course, the exact opposite happened. So,
yeah, you don't have to listen to anybody who's talking about cryptocurrency. You just go watch Kramer and do the opposite of what he says.
Yeah, exactly.
That's funny. But I think this plays to the point where we're making, a few minutes ago that, again, this is a global issue. It's again, the U.S. by raising interest rates, being the world reserve currency, etc., exports its inflation to the rest of the world, basically. And I'm not saying that this is the only reason for what this tweet's talking about here with the $15 billion in losses. I'm sure that's not the only reason. However, I'm sure it had an effect and was part of the cause. That's the way I see it.
Yeah. And this is, although it's terrible, like these kind of losses that are happening right now, there is a positive spin when people are looking for a way out of the current situation and how to move into something else that's a different narrative, something that you have a little bit more transparency and something that you can actually hold to yourself. You're not like a bank is not accountable. You're accountable for your own funds. And I think
Sure.
that's positive for crypto and the crypto community. And
agree.
that's like, if it's only like 5% of the population that actually knows about crypto, this is just a gateway to peak interest into another way of diversifying and investing your assets into assets. And I think it's a good, although it's a crisis, I think it's still a good path for people to see another way to do things. And if that gives more exposure to crypto, I think that's great.
I agree. 100%. You and I were talking about this, off camera before we even started the live stream. And it's, I don't know. How can, I mean, don't misunderstand me. I understand, you get busy with life, things happen. You're not necessarily watching the news every day. You're not, necessarily seeing what the government's spending all the time, this, that, or the other thing. And even exactly how inflation is affecting you until you like hit the gas pump or until you go to the grocery store. And that's where you're starting to feel that pinch and you start to say, oh my God, what the hell is going on right now? And just that should be giving people pause to be like, well, what the hell else can I do?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, in my opinion, and we're here because we both believe crypto is part of that solution. And again, I'm not going to be the guy here that's going to be crypto. And as much as I believe in it, and I believe there are projects that are definitely better than others, and that having you talk to any financial professional, they say between like 1% and 5% of your income into crypto for like long-term hodling. And okay, great. I'm a little more heavy than that because I really do believe that when this thing collapses, and it's gonna, I want to be in that forefront and have money not only to hold but to spend, because
exactly,
you're gonna need to be able to spend. So, but I mean, things like, and I've talked about it on my channel before. I don't know if you have on yours, but things like gold, for example. We got I know I have a lot of people that come in and out of my my videos who are gold bugs. And hey, gold's been money forever.
Yeah.
So I get it. I understand. And things are easy right now. I mean, I promote Acre Gold because you can literally spend $50 a month and have it mailed right to your door. I mean, you can't beat that. Do you invest in gold?
Yeah. So obviously, I'm not tooting the horn of just crypto. I think diversifying in everything is definitely a huge thing. So for me, I have some precious metals. I have a little bit of gold. I actually have more silver than I do gold. That was just because of the price itself when I was buying it. But actual tangible silver, like I had it delivered and everything. So I'm holding physical silver, physical gold. And then
that's probably very smart, because I mean, at the end of the day, people are going to want to hoard their gold. So if you're going to be using it to barter with anything, silver makes sense.
Yeah, the method of storage though is the bank. So if the bank fails, do I get my silver? So there's a little bit of a mix up on that one. But so I'm precious metals, assets, physical assets like a property itself. So my house is almost paid for. And I'm looking at investment properties as well. And then I'm also just investing in just a little bit of collectibles here and there too, just because I like to have fun with those type of things.
Sure.
But just spreading it across. And then of course, crypto, as I'm learning about it and understanding the mechanisms that make it grow and push it forward, I'm dollar cost averaging into the major ones like Ethereum and Bitcoin.
Sure.
And then I'm a degenerate gambler as well. So sometimes I'm going to be doing meme coins. I'm going to be doing other stuff that no one's heard of. And I'll take the punches and I'll take the losses on it. But it's always within range of what I can afford to lose. I definitely recommend people, if they're not sure about it, you can watch me lose it rather than lose it yourself. So that's right. That's the way I look at it.
And I excuse me. I hear that. I mean, I look at it from the terms of like my children, my grandchildren. All my children are grown now, so they don't listen to anything I say. But that notwithstanding, I do try to focus a lot on my grandchildren, because I really believe the system we have today, for example, it ain't going to exist, or at least not even remotely in the form that we see today.
Yeah.
So to me, I'd like to give them a little bit of leg up, for lack of a better word, to hopefully help them when the time comes.
Yeah, and like just learning the fundamentals, because crypto is not exactly the easiest thing to understand. Like just getting across the idea of what a wallet is, and to explain what an address is and how you're supposed to send it to a lot of people, I lose them within the first couple of sentences, right?
Yeah.
Just so I try to go broader, and I try to talk about we have a transfer system, a cash transfer system in Canada called Interact. Where you can email transfer money and send money directly to other users from bank to bank. And I kind of use that as an example when you're trying to send crypto from one wallet to another wallet. I just sort of level the playing field a little bit so people can understand that. And with mining, I'm a nerd. So with mining, I have like these little devices. They're Lily. Let me see if I can get one for you. So it's just like a little device like this. And this is one that I have on my channel right now. This is from LilyGo. You can actually program these screens to do anything. But this one I'm using right now to mine Bitcoin. But it's like a lottery, because you're never going to earn anything. You're never going to break even with this.
And what did you say the name of that was again?
What's that?
What did you say the name of that was again?
Oh, it's LilyGo. LilyGo is the name. It's the S3 display.
Okay.
It's a mini computer that you can program to do different things. It's not just for mining like I'm using it for, but you can have it show the weather, become a ticker, or anything like that. But what I'm doing with this is I'm showing my kids how to mine crypto. So you can log into it. You can get it to connect to a network. Then you can set the parameters for a pool. And then you can see the hash rate grow through, and all just like the basics, just so they understand. My kids are really small. They're both under 10. But just so they can understand the basics behind it and how a network works, how it connects, how everything works together, and just get that into them. I already lose them within the first couple of minutes of getting into it. So, I mean, like you can play catch with this too. It doesn't have to just be a computer. It's just, just something different. And that's what I'm working on. And I think as I just chip away at it and just constantly be talking about it in the background, they're going to get more comfortable with the idea of crypto, because I believe down the road, this is going to be one of the major financial institutions where transactions are going to happen the most. And that's my belief in the path of where we're headed.
I feel you. And I mean, the way I see it, tell me if you think differently, but I mean, it's going to either be cryptocurrency or some form of CBDC.
And that's where you have bad actors, right? I think you also wanted to talk about one of the biggest they appear to be not transparent with everything that they're doing. WorldCoin, is that?
When we talk to WorldCoin, yes. And we can jump to that now if you want. Can I just show one screen? I saw this on Twitter and I had to grab it. Hang on one second here. Where is it? Of course I've lost it. Here it is. Oh no, damn it. Okay, the joys of live streaming right now. When you make a mistake. You know what? I think I'm even gonna give it up, and we're gonna because I don't know where the hell it is right now. We're gonna yep, that's the one I want. Hang on, we're gonna go jump right to WorldCoin because wow. I should have let you drive in the background. Yeah, I think you could have done it.
I don't know if I'll be any better, so I'll let you take it out.
Oh my goodness gracious! Here it is. Okay, we'll jump to WorldCoin. Saw this meme with regard to WorldCoin, and I thought it was great. I mean, it's apt if you ask me. I mean, it truly is like the Trojan horse. I mean, How can you say that any centralized entity is going to be continually altruistic in everything that they're doing, and completely, as you said, transparent, or in the case of this not transparent. And
when you
and I
say
think that,
altruistic, the first thing that comes up is FDX, and we know how that ended.
well,
So,
amen. Yeah.
like it just I always see, like, when people talk highly on giving, which is great. I'm also a little bit paranoid, and I like to look a little bit beyond that, because there's always seems to be some kind of ulterior motive, or something else is not always what it seems. So yeah, I
I
mean,
agree.
WorldCoin, it's interesting. I've been reading a little bit more about it. You can go ahead. You can talk about that if yeah. You want.
Well, I mean, go ahead, start us off. Kick us down that road, and we'll go from
Okay,
there.
well, so you introduced me to WorldCoin. I didn't know much about it until it was launched. I obviously watched tickers on CoinMarketCap, and that popped on one of the first days that it took off. But you had sent me an article on, I think it was Crypto Slate, about the users that were using it, and the way they're onboarding people is they have something called an orb, and it's
Yes.
it's a ball, and it scans your eyeball. I'm not even joking about that. It scans your eyeball. It takes your biometric data, and it pairs you with an address. And I believe that's how they're using the blockchain. So your biometrics are scanned in. It's linked to you. This is now your ID, and you're in a database. And the article is stating that Sam Altman says that they're onboarding 8 users a second. Now, if this is true, and they're onboarding 8 users a second, and they have apparently 1,500 of these orbs across the world onboarding users, that would mean that they're onboarding 480 people an hour, or 11,500 people per day per unit. And then that would make it one of the fastest growing platforms ever, because if there'd be they would have about 17.5 million subscribers per day. And if they're keeping at that pace, I think I pulled up this chart. If I can pull it up here.
Yep. Go ahead. Share it.
There we go. So if they were doing that, that would mean they're destroying ChatGPT's success of getting 1 million subscribers in 5 days. And Instagram took 75 days to get hit 1 million. And then Spotify, which was also doing amazing work, it took 150 days to get 1 million users. So they're breaking records. I don't know if I believe everything with that, but it's pretty crazy.
Well, you know, I agree. What do you believe? You know, it's like anything else. You know, they're going to PR themselves as positively as possible, right? But I think we need to at least circle back on a couple of things you said, and because I think it can get lost in translation with a lot of the hype around WorldCoin and having this orbing going on. You know, you mentioned about doing that orbing and then that getting attached to a wallet address and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
I mean, you hear digital ID all the time. Well, guess what? Enter digital ID, right? I mean, I get it. It's their system. So whether or not it gets adopted as the world system, whatever, but that is one of the goals of WorldCoin. I mean, I think in last week's live stream, we talked about the like 4 or 5 different things on their roadmap. And one of them is a digital ID.
Right.
And they have literally got people thinking like, this is a great idea to give you all of my biometric data and never mind whatever else they're going to attach to that information beside what is inside a WorldCoin. I mean, is that not scary?
Yeah, it like the idea is scary. I'm trying to figure out, like, so they have your biometric information, your eyeball, retina, and whatever, fingerprints. I just want to know, like, what the actual con of putting that on the blockchain is. First of all, are you going to be comfortable enough of putting it out there and allowing someone to hold and operate with that? But what are the actual negatives? Like, how can they use that against you if there is a plot or whatever that is? But I think, like, from what I'm reading online, it has a lot to do with a social credit score. And if that's true, then I can see the application behind it. I don't know. Oh, there you go. There's a video of it. That's just people lining up to get it done. Insane. So, I mean, like, the numbers could be real, right? Like, this could also be whatever it is. I don't know what location this is in, but
I don't remember if this one says the location. Another one I'm going to show in a minute is Kenya, for example. And, you know, they're smart to target these countries that, I mean, have rampant inflation or, just like collapsed monetary systems, because again, easy peasy CBDCZ, I know I just made that up. Anyway, but this came from Sam Altman, but I can't see, it doesn't say the where, where this is. But I mean,
if you're launching a coin, this is what you want. You want people to be excited about it, jump on it. So I think I'd mentioned this before, like there's positives and negatives to it. So the negative would be, what are they doing with the data and how are they using the data, and what's the plan going forward? The positive is people are looking at this form. They're understanding it's a blockchain. They're getting used to the idea of crypto, and it just gives more exposure to it. So it's kind of like a balancing act. It has to, I like to hold judgment. I don't really know too much more than what the posts are about WorldCoin. I didn't read the white paper or anything else like that. So I don't know how bad it could actually be. But the positive that I see is its adoption to crypto and exposure for crypto.
Yep. Well, and you're correct about that. I mean, at the end of the day, if people look at this system and be like, okay, yeah, I don't want nothing to do with this. Although by some of these pictures that we're showing you in the background here, that's obviously not the case. But I think, and don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure that after you get orbed, you're getting like or once they got everything set up, you're going to get like a download of some world coin. I don't know what that amount is, and the exact.
I think you get 25 world coins when you sign up. I think that's where I read that somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for being on top of that where I wasn't.
Yeah, no, I picked that one up.
But yeah, I mean, it's just okay. So you're dangling the carrot about that, and people are jumping in. But I mean, I don't know. Again, it's taking a look at it from not just your world or my world perspective, but I mean, again, I'll bring up the location for Kenya. I mean, I would have to believe that that's probably a decent amount of money for someone in Kenya. I mean, I don't know. I've never been to Kenya.
There we go. So right now it's at $2.45. And if we say 25 of that, about $60 US. And depending on where you are in the world, that could be quite a bit of money, right?
That could be exactly. Why am I just a slow guy right here? I'm trying to bring up the one from Kenya, but of course oh wait, here we go. Slow but sure. I mean, yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah, there's a lot of people on that one.
I mean, it actually kind of makes that the first one I put up look like nothing by comparison. I don't know. The end of the day for me, this strikes me as the opposite of what the world needs, and exactly what governments and NGOs like the WEF and the IMF want. They want to have a more centralized control, and again, control the money, control the people. So if WorldCoin is that, that method, I guess.
Yeah.
But to me, this is the exact opposite of what the world needs right now.
Yeah. Like at some point, there's going to be something that's going to be the main form of transactional currency. So I don't know what that's going to be, but who knows? Adoption's everything. I'm really hoping it's Bitcoin, but
right.
We'll see where it goes.
Well, you know what? Do you mind if we kind of talk about that for a second?
Sure, yeah.
So I was thinking about this even earlier today before we jumped on this live stream. And when I was mentioning like the initial crypto portfolio, Bitcoin is obviously part of it. I think Bitcoin is what's going to push the adoption across the world. So not having it just doesn't make any sense. But when we get to that inflection point, that adoption point, I think we have to have other cryptocurrencies that take the day-to-day spending off the back of Bitcoin, and not because it can't handle it with Lightning or whatever the case may be, but they just, I don't know, Bitcoin strikes me as gold. So that's something I don't want to take my gold and use it to buy things.
Also, you don't really want just one currency to rule it all either, right? So it's being a store of value for Bitcoin, and then you'd want a few others to also be the transactional blockchains.
Exactly.
As I use, lately I've been using Caspa just because I've been on that. But there's a whole bunch of other ones. I use the Polygon network a lot just because the fees are low. I use anything on the BSC chain as well. Fees are low. It's very fast. Low. I thought Solana was going to be a good solution. But when I bought into Solana, the network kept going down. I don't know if they've recovered from that and if it's the stability's there. But then again, it's not a mining coin. It's a validator one. So a lot of the major wallets are holding this, and decentralization doesn't seem to be there with that. But yeah, you definitely want to have more than one option. But then you'll have like your gold version of it, which would be Bitcoin. And that would be seen as a store of value for a lot of people and a lot of people to trust. Yeah.
Well, and exactly. And if that's the like you said, the means to adopt it and bring people in, winner, chicken dinner, that's great. I got no issue with that. And not for nothing, where the scarcity of 21 million Bitcoin, and, you can see the number of wallet addresses increasing all the time. You can see the whole coin holders increasing all the time. And just, I think they actually, I thought I saw one the other day where it was like 0.1 Bitcoin coin holders, the number of, 0.1. It was like just skyrocketing. And there's not enough to go around for everybody in the world at the end of the day. So
the scarcity is it too, right? There's only so much, so that gives it more value. Yeah, for sure.
Yep. Yeah. And that's still something. That piece is still something I see in the everyday transactional needs of what is probably going to come forward. And like you mentioned, I mean, yes, fees. Having low fees is huge, which is why I think you and I talked about it. I like using like Litecoin for like daily transaction. I don't know, something about Litecoin. I like it. No downtime. The fees are generally low. It's consistent. It runs like clockwork. There's no issues with it. I do occasionally use Bitcoin Cash. So another one, if you're Bitcoin about it, at least Bitcoin Cash is another option that's a little bit quicker, I guess, and I don't mind spending my Bitcoin Cash versus my Bitcoin. So but you might have the better perspective with regard to focusing on those fees and using things like BSC. And right? I mean,
that's because I'm a degen when it comes to a lot of buys. Like I'm like I would like to buy a lot of these meme coins that are on Ethereum, but like the fees, when the
fees are outrageous
in itself, like I can't justify that, right?
Right.
That's another reason why I'm not too much into a lot of the new meme coins and whatever's popping right now. I try to see if there's something with more value, something with more utility, and something that's more practical, where it's not just something right now, but it'll be something for months, for years to come, right? So that continually grows. But again, I'll still jump into a coin here and there just because I can.
And, I get it. I understand. I do it too. All right. Well, I'm going to take another quick second because there's nobody that I can see jumping in the chat here to ask any questions. So if you are live, and I can see there's a number of you live, thank you. Appreciate having you here. We're live streaming to my channel as well as CryptoJar's YouTube channel. So make sure you head over to both, give it a like, give us the thumbs up there. Make sure you subscribe. And if you're on Facebook, make sure you follow and like the page that you're on there, the CryptoCoinMindSet. Appreciate that. And all right, I mean, bottom line. All right, let's bottom line both of these.
Okay.
You've got the banking system obviously in slow free fall. You've got, and one more thing I'm going to throw out there that we didn't actually even mention with regard to the banking system collapse.
Mm-hmm.
FDIC. I know you're in Canada, so you may not be 100% familiar with the FDIC, but the bottom line is it's supposed to be basically insurance for depositors that have $250,000 or less in an account to make sure that they don't lose their money.
Right.
In those first banking collapses in the beginning of the year, and again, this was part of that video I've got to find, and I'll try to make sure it's in the description notes after this live stream's over, where the bank is thinking about bailing in. So remember back in 2008, the bailouts for this bank, that bank, the other thing, and people don't want to hear that anymore because they know all that means is they have more money out of my pocket and it's going in some bankster's pocket. But now, in my opinion, the way they're using the FDIC to make everybody whole, regardless how much money you've got in there, you're setting an expectation to just fail when the entire banking system collapses. And you got people thinking, oh, it's all right. These guys are too big to collapse. They're going to make us, they got us. Nobody's coming to save you, man.
At some point, the road's going to end. So
yes. Yes. Anyway, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get off on that tangent.
Oh,
but
no, it's facts are facts, right? You can't keep bailing out everybody all the time. So.
Exactly. And it's, I don't know. The more
actually correct.
Again, I get it. They're able to put up that fence, that gate, whatever, as it's doing a slow free fall here. But I
was going to say, they can actually keep bailing banks out and bailing everybody out. They just have to keep printing more money, and then that just devalues the dollar. That the repercussion is the dollar just loses its value. But yeah, I mean, they could go on forever just printing out trillions, quadrillions, or whatever the number is going to be.
Yeah, I know we're up to trillions, multi-trillions at this point, but I mean, it's to the point in the U.S. where now I forgot what the actual metric was, but the interest on the current level of debt is like surpassed like the top 10 countries worth of spending. It's like, are you kidding me right now? How do you keep up with that? You can't keep up with that.
Yeah,
it's insane. Anyway, so I was trying to bottom line it. I didn't do a good job. Anyway, so we got the banking system in basic free fall, slow or not, doesn't matter. And then you've got things like WorldCoin, who are basically trying to lead you down the path of CBDCs, in my opinion. And the only option is to not be part of the system. It just is. And, we talked about, again, precious metals, gold, silver, etc. But I mean, cryptocurrency, because eventually what's going to happen? They're going to shut these on and off ramps down because they're not going to want people to get out of the US dollar or whatever your local currency is. They're just going to be like, nope, enough of that. But while you have the opportunity to be able to do that, to get out and start putting some sats aside, doesn't it make sense? I mean,
if you can go through the methods of learning how to buy into crypto, and you don't have to hold much, but maybe just a little bit, and work through the process of buying and holding different types of cryptocurrencies. Like while the on-ramp is there, that's a good point. Why not take advantage of it? Why not try to learn about it? Or you might have to leave the country to do it later on. So, I mean, if you're in Canada, it's getting more and more difficult to jump on. Well, I guess you can jump on through one of the Canadian exchanges. Just the taxation part of it, I'm not too sure has been very clear yet. But down the road, I'm sure they'll roll out the framework of how much I can be paying in taxes on this. So,
and they'll increase the tax rate that exponentially as they see how many people run out and be like, leave me the hell alone. I'm going to crypto.
Well, everything's on the blockchain, so I'm sure they'll be able to find where they might be able to find my crypto better than me. So, we'll see how good they are at that.
Right.
I think you broke up there. Still there?
like we're having a little bit of technical difficulty. Okay, wait, there we go. We're back. Sorry about that, everybody. Okay, so if you're not thinking cryptocurrency already, at least Bitcoin, whatever, I mean, maybe now is a good time.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Like
again,
I've jumped into a few different projects. I'm testing out Caspa, mining Caspa right now.
yep.
I bought it's called the Ice River KSO miner, which
Yeah,
again has dropped
take
in
it over.
price.
Show everybody.
Okay, yeah, let me pull this on here. Okay, so let me add that in there. Okay, so this is the KSO Ice River miner. This is the one that I bought. I bought it for $1,000 about 3 weeks ago. It dropped immediately after I purchased it. It dropped again. Now it's 759. So I'm expecting this to drop again. There's a bigger miner that's coming out. It's right over here. It's the KS3. This one's $40,000. And believe it or not, apparently that's supposed to be a good price. So I don't really know about that. But Ice River has a KS3, and then Bitmain has also something called a KS3. They're not really unique with the naming of it, but once these actually hit the market, difficulty is going to skyrocket, and my profitability on the first miner is going to tank. Right now, my goal is just to break even on this miner, make what I put into it, and then everything else I'm going to be holding it. So it's going okay. I've done about $350 over the last 2 weeks on this miner. Caspa has been skyrocketing in price. This is a 1 day chart. 7 days doesn't look good, but if you take a look at the month, it's gone up almost 70% since it hit. So it's on a tear right now. It's been around for a bit, but I think it's getting more and more exposure right now. So a lot of people are jumping on board with these miners and using the Caspa blockchain. So that's one project I'm looking in right now. The other one is a node project, and this one is Neoxa. Neoxa. Let me just pull it up over here.
Now, this is the latest node that you're running?
Yeah, so this node just went mainnet. It went mainnet just a couple of days ago, and it launched, and you can tell when it launched. It probably launched over here on the 30th. So you can run a node, and I think the APR short term is like 90%, something crazy. So you have to buy 1 million Neoxa to stake, and then you earn against that. So 1 million Neoxa at the time that I bought it, it's now 1,500, but it was about $1,000 to get into it. And I'm operating a couple of nodes, and it's paying out 2,500 Neoxa per day right now, which is going to be paying about $4 a day. $4 a day right now, what you're going to be making as a return. And I believe that's going to be for the duration of this launch, maybe a couple of months, and then they'll start dialing it back. I'm pretty sure they allocated a certain amount. Yeah, so this is a play to earn. They have their own gaming servers. It's a mineable coin. And the other way is to stake it with a node, which is what I'm doing right now. So I just made that guide. That came out. There's a lot of people that are jumping on it. They just announced that they have 1,000 nodes already up and running.
Wow.
So that's great. Like they have 1,000 nodes within a couple of days. There's a lot of traction with Neoxa. That means a lot of people are interested in it.
Yep.
It's just one of those other coins that are, I wouldn't say new. Neoxa's been around for a bit. So I got in here, and then I lost some money here, and then I was just playing around with it, mining it. And then I started buying in when they announced that they were going to have a node project. And yeah, so once they did that, I just set it up, created the guide. A lot of good feedback. Like if you're trying to set it up, you can jump on their Discord. Everyone's super helpful, like very helpful to get things up and running. And this is one of those communities where I enjoy it because it seems like everyone's working together. And this is like the spirit behind crypto that you talk about, is like you have an international community. Everyone's working towards the same goal, and they're helping each other out. And they want to create something that everyone can use. And once again, they're working together. So it's a positive thing. And I'm glad to be a part of that project as an investor. Excellent. I'm not actually on the team or anything, but yeah. So those are the couple of the projects that I'm in right now. And for nodes itself, there's I would say the more stable ones. There is one called Presearch, and that's a search
Yes.
engine.
I like Presearch.
Presearch is a search engine. It hasn't been doing too well, but this one's been steady. It's been a steady earner for me. I also have another node called Streamer. Streamer data token. There we go. This is another one that I've invested in as well. Up and down, but they've been stable and they're growing quite a bit. And like, again, it comes down to adoption. So I'm seeing a lot of other projects using Streamer as a backend to get their using them to stream their data.
I was just about to ask, because it sounds familiar to me. Like I know I've heard of it, but I can't remember exactly the project.
Yeah, like a project that's actually using Streamer is Demo. Demo's down right now, but what this does is it mines your car data. So
yes,
you have like a little, it looks like a Raspberry Pi device that you connect to your vehicle, and it gathers information about fuel consumption, how much you're driving, speed, and everything else. It anonymizes the data, and then it sells that data. So you're in control of your data, and you can modify the specs that you're going to be sharing. And then when it's out there, you're actually getting something in return. So this is another really good community project that I've been looking at. I'm in it right now. It did really well while I jumped on it. So yeah, I'm interested. Like there's a lot of other things that are happening right now, but I'm just digging in and just seeing what works.
Sure, of course. I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know what the level is, because we don't have really any questions in the chat of the people who are watching our live stream right now. But if you had to give some general advice for people who are looking like passive income in the crypto space, whether it's nodes, mining, giving your car data, what would you give as general advice?
Yeah. Okay. So number one, when you're looking into any project, obviously you're going to want to research it a bit. Everyone's talking about do your own research, but like beyond that, you want to take a look at the community itself. At least that's what I do. So I take a look at the interaction of the community. If they have a Discord, how involved are they with questions about the project? How open are they with questions of the project? Are they blocking people just for asking maybe not so favorable questions, but they're just trying to find out what's going on there? I've seen that a lot in projects. And as soon as I start seeing them try to hush things down or push people out, I jump off board. I don't want nothing to do with that.
I don't blame you. Blame you. That's why you hear otherwise,
Yeah, exactly. So with the other thing is to take a look at the white paper. And I know it's really nerdy and boring, but if you want to know the mechanism behind it and what's driving it and the possible roadmap that it could go down the road with utility, that's where you're going to get the actual detail of the project and how it's going to be used and where it's going to be used. Because in a lot of cases, when it comes down to these new projects, there's hype around it. There's hype around not actually the utility. And an example of that would be NFTs. Like everyone was talking about JPEGs and, I made $50 million on this JPEG or $50,000. And then you're not actually talking about the utility behind the NFT itself and the contract and the structure and how it can actually be deployed for like buying and selling a house or some kind of other contract with anything. And the utility behind it is actually very functional, but it got lost with all the hype of JPEGs, right?
Yeah,
and that's why I'm saying when you're
I got a board ape.
Something, that's what I'm saying when you're going to read about something, actually look at the granular part of it. If you're going to be investing in, I mean, if you're just going to be doing it for fun, just to make a quick buck here and there, who really cares? But if you actually want to put some real money behind it, then that's when you're going to want to just see the functionality.
And now, again, just general advice. If you make a good point, if you're looking to like make a quick buck, that's one thing. But what if the person is thinking, okay, maybe I'm not completely into this whole cryptocurrency thing right now, but I can see it down the road, or somebody like me who's thinking grandchildren down the road.
Yeah.
What way would you point them?
YouTube. Honestly, YouTube and Twitter, like they're excellent resources. And like I started my channel because when I'm jumping into projects, a lot of it, like if you look at the beginning of my channel, it's all guides, because as I'm getting into a project and I'm researching it and doing the steps to set up a node or mining, I'm learning it at that point. So it's like as I'm learning it, I'm recording it, I'm putting it together. I'm hoping it makes sense to most users. And then I put it out there. And when I'm investing in a project and I'm saying something about the project, I'm holding myself accountable. And I know a lot of people on YouTube are doing the same thing. So when they're jumping into a project, they're investing X amount of dollars and they're holding themselves accountable to it. So they have to return to that and say and follow up. So the users or the creators that are doing this, I think are going to be more successful because they're earning trust. And that's going to be a great resource when you want to learn about projects. Another one would be Twitter or X. I'm not sure what they're called.
Yeah, X now. Yes, exactly.
So Twitter is another great resource because as projects are expanding and talking about the new tools and utilities of it, they also detail and link to resources to explain it further. So that's how you can extend your knowledge.
No, that's all great information. Thank you. I didn't mean to put you on the spot right there.
Oh yeah, no.
That's great. That's great. I mean, at this point, we're just over an hour in here, and we got still plenty of people watching. But again, people's time is precious. So is ours. We got other stuff to do here. I would first off, thank you very much. No matter where you're joining us from, whether it's CryptoJar's YouTube channel, my YouTube channel, Facebook page, whatever it is, we really appreciate it. Actually, even Twitter, probably. I did put a link to that on my Twitter page as well. So we've covered pretty much everything I said we wanted to cover today. Is there anything else you want to put out before I throw out my announcement about the next live stream?
Yeah, that's interesting itself. Like not a whole lot. Basically, as I'm exploring projects, and if you're on my channel, you'll see them because I'll just be talking about them, like Haspa, like Neoxa, anything else that's new that I've looked into, and it seems like it's worth diving into further. I'll be putting out guides, and I'll be talking about it, and I'll be digging in. I'll be putting my own money behind it, so you don't have to invest in it if you don't trust it, because I'll be playing around it with myself.
Yep. Oh, that's great. Oh, that's awesome. Absolutely awesome. Again, the links to both of our channels will be in the description of this live stream if you're watching it on the replay. If you have questions and you're watching it on the replay, make sure that you just put them in there. I'll get back to you, and I'm sure so will Lidio if you're leaving in on his YouTube channel, and we'll try and make that happen. To remind you that every Wednesday, 10 a.m., live here on YouTube with a live stream. The topics are going to range. It depends on what's going on. And honestly, if something comes up, like you saw a couple of weeks ago with the decision on XRP and the judgment of it not being a security, we jumped right on within the hour and put that information out, so you had access to that, or at least what was the most current information at that time. So make sure, like, subscribe, so you get notified when that happens.
Yeah, and thanks for having me on. I enjoyed it.
I appreciate. I was just about to say I don't know how often that you'll be able to be with me, but I appreciate it, and we'll make sure that we promote that every time you are, because hopefully you'll be here more often than not.
Yeah, I'll definitely be trying to make more of these.
All right, awesome. Well, all right, so my announcement. Where am I going from here, I guess? I put out a poll and mentioned it in the last couple of live streams, etc., asking people if they thought a second live stream during the course of a week might be something they'd be interested in. The theme of that particular live stream was going to be Crypto on the Rocks, is the name I've come up with so far right now. And right now, the plan for that is going to be every Friday night, we're going to sit down, little casual live stream. Everybody brings their own drinks, 7 p.m. to usher in the weekend here, and basically talk crypto in a casual setting. Enjoy whatever your favorite beverages, and even though for me it's probably going to be something with a little bit of alcoholic content, it does not necessarily have to be that. So that's going to be starting right now. Wow, Get that out 5 times fast. It's looking like it's going to be Friday, December. Okay, where is he? I need help. I'm losing myself. Oh my God. It's going to be Friday, August 11th. We'll do our maiden voyage with regard to that live stream. So hope you're going to go and join us for that. But the other piece to that is, beside having a casual conversation, a nice alcoholic beverage, and see where the conversation takes us, to also bring you, who is normally the viewer, on and talk with us live. So you'll be able to come on with a video camera if you want, or just you don't have to put video, maybe just some audio, whatever works for you. For that matter, if you just want to talk in the live stream chat notes, that's good too. But your interaction is what's going to help to just drive this and make this particular live stream a bit more successful. So look for that August 11th. It's going to be, if all goes the way it's supposed to, every Friday, 7 p.m. till, I don't know, till people are done. They're ready to go. So again, I'd like to take the time to thank Lidio from CryptoJar for being here today. Make sure, if you haven't already gone to his channel, head there, give it a like, give it a subscribe, and yeah, be part of that. Same for me. Like, subscribe, head on over to Facebook. We really appreciate you being here. So see you next Wednesday. Looking forward to it live. All right, that's going to conclude the live stream. I would like to say thank you for watching me live. I really appreciate the support and your interaction in the live chat. But there's a couple of other things I'd like to talk about as well. Now, I'd like to take a moment to say you need to be aware of scammers. With the advent of generative AI, it is becoming easier and easier for scammers to make you think that I am sitting here on YouTube or whatever other platform and asking you for money, your private keys. God only knows. I'm here to tell you, I will not ask you for your private keys. I will not ask you for any money. So if someone has reached out to you saying they're me, it is not me. Now that we got that unpleasantness out of the way, let's talk about how I can help you. Beside all the great content that I put out on all of my social media platforms, especially here on YouTube and Odyssey, I also provide personal one-on-one consulting. I'll put a link in the description below. If you're interested in a personal consultation to help you with whatever it is you're having difficulty with in cryptocurrency, click that link. We'll make it happen. I look forward to being able to help you with whatever it is you need. Remember, I will not provide financial advice. I'm not going to handle your crypto, nothing like that. But if you need help with anything else, feel free to hit that consult button and we'll make it happen. Now, I also have a Telegram channel. There's an open Telegram, which you see here. Link in the description below. Head on over there. I'm posting in there all the time. But I also have a private Telegram. Now, I do charge a small fee for that because you have more direct access to me. So if you have a question, it's a little easier to get that kind of thing answered if it's something simple. Not to mention, I put out different information inside the private Telegram group. Sometimes different trades I'm doing, etc. So you can get a leg up if you're a trader. Links for all that in the description below. Now finally, if you're looking to support the channel, there's a few different ways you can do it. Inside of all the descriptions on my videos, there are a bunch of different links. Some of them are affiliate links. Basically, those affiliate links provide me and my channel with a small compensation if you decide to utilize whatever product or service that I'm promoting there. Realize that I don't promote anything that I don't use myself. So rest assured that if the link is there, I believe in it. If you use Brave browser, you can also send me a tip on Brave browser. I am a certified content creator on Brave. So if you're a Brave user, you know how to do that. And finally, you can head on over to Cointree, link in the description below. On Cointree, you have the ability to send me a tip. More importantly, on Cointree, I have listed all my official social media links. So you can rest assured, if you want to follow me and everything that I put out for Crypto Coin Mindset, these are the links where you're going to find all that information. Thank you again.